ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our 58th session of Śrimad Bhagavad Gītā. So we are on 7th chapter, the last section, that is from 25 to 30. We will study 26 to 30. These 5 verses we will study today, which tells about the delusion and liberation of Jiva. So before discussion, we will chant Vedāham samatitani vartamānāni chārjuna bhavishyāni cha bhūtāni mam tu veda na kaścana. Synonyms. Veda, no. Aham, I. Samatitani, completely past. Vartamanani, present. Cha, and. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Bhavishyani, future. Cha, also. Bhutani, all living entities. Mam, me. Tu, but. Veda, knows. Na, not. Kaścana, anyone. Translation. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So we see that here in this verse, that is verse number 26, we get another quality of the Lord. If we can remember from the beginning of this chapter, from verse number 8, we have learned about many qualities of the Lord. That is, Sarva Karanatvam, He is the cause of all causes. Then Paramasatyatvam, He is the supreme truth. Then Sarva Vyapakatvam, that is, He is all pervading. Akhila Saratvam, that is, He is the essence of everything. And then Gunatita Parama Avyayatvam, He is above all the gunas and the controller of the gunas. And He is Parama Avyaya. And now this Sarvagnya, this quality we are getting from this verse. That is omniscient. And He says Himself that, O Arjuna, I know the past, present, and future, and all the living entities, everything. So nothing is hidden from me. And there is nothing in this entire creation which I don't know, whether it is past, present, or future. But no one knows the Lord. So we see the reason is described in the next verse, so we will chant first. Why people can't understand the Lord? Ichchadvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sargayanti parantapa. Ichha, desire, dvesha, and hate, samuthena, arisen from, dvandva, of duality, mohena, by the illusion, bharata, ocean of Bharata, sarva, all, bhutani, living entities, sammoham, into delusion, sarge, while taking birth, yanti, go, Paramtapa, O conqueror of enemies. Translation. Ocean of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. So here one interesting thing that we note here. Ocean of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, who can easily conquer all his enemies. Such a living entity is Arjuna. He is also bewildered by dualities. Here we see from the beginning of Bhagavad Gītā, Arjuna is deluded and he is bewildered by dualities. We have noticed this. So that is the purpose of Bhagavan's addressing Arjuna. So see, Arjuna, look at yourself. How deluded and bewildered you are. So you are representing all the bhutas. Sarva bhutani sammoham. So you can well understand that all the living entities are actually under the cloak of delusion. And this is the reason that we were just talking about, why people can't understand the Lord, because of this, that is, dualities of delusion prevents jiva to know the Lord. This is the reason. Dvandva mohena bharata, dualities of delusion. And we also learned in our previous class that what Bhagavan says in verse number 25, that is, Naham prakashah sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. That is, the Lord does not reveal himself. He covers himself by yogamaya, that is his superior energy. So that is why living entities can't understand the Supreme Lord. Okay, so let's chant the next one. Here it is mentioned that who can be elevated to the transcendental platform? Okay, so yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Yesham, whose, tu, but, antagatam, completely eradicated, papam, sin, jananam, of the persons, punya, pious, karmanam, whose previous activities, te, they, dvandva, of duality, moha, delusion, nirmuktaha, free from, bhajante, engage in devotional service, mam, to me, dvandva, dridhavrataha, with determination. Translation: persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So see how beautiful. As the Lord says in verse number 26, that, O Arjuna, I am Sarvagnya, I am omniscient, I know everything. But the living entities, that is, there is no one in this world who can know me completely. And in verse number 27, Bhagavan says the reason also, that, O Arjuna, see yourself that you are the conqueror of all the enemies. Still, you can't know me completely as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, this is the reason that dualities of delusion prevents the living entities to know me. And in verse number 28, Bhagavan says, assuming Arjuna's question, so there is no means to know you. So no one can't try to know you. So Bhagavan says, yes, Arjuna, step by step, a very particular process is there. And what is that? So Bhagavan says that there are few people who can be elevated to the transcendental platform, to the divine platform. Who are they? Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. So, one, pious people who are free from all sins. Number two, who are freed from dualities of delusion. And bhajante mam dridhavrataha, who engage themselves in my service with strong determination. Bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So, bhajante, so who are worshipping me. How they are worshipping me? With strong determination. Dridhavrataha. So whose sins are destroyed, who is freed from dualities of delusion, and who is engaged in my service, in worshipping me with strong determination, they can be elevated to the transcendental platform. And in the next verse, Bhagavan says, what happens to such people? Jaramaranamoksaya mamashritya yatanti ye te brahma tadviduhu kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Synonyms: Jara, from old age, Marana and death, Mokshaya, for the purpose of liberation, Ma, me, Ashritya, taking shelter of, Yatanti, endeavor, Ye, all those who, Te, such persons, Brahma, Brahman, Ta, actually that, Viduhu, they know, Kritsnam, everything, Adhyatmam, transcendental, Karma, activities, Cha, also, Akhilam, entirely. Translation: intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. So, what Bhagavan says, that such people who can be elevated to the transcendental platform, as he said, that they are free from all sins and all dualities of delusion, and with strong determination they are serving the Lord, that is worshipping the Lord. What happens to them? Bhagavan says here that they become Brahma Bhuta. Te Brahma Tadviduhu Kritsnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. So how they become Brahma Bhuta? Not how, they become Brahma Bhuta, that is Mukta Jiva. Why do they become liberated? Because they know everything about the transcendental activities, that is Adhyatma and Karma. Here it is mentioned, that is Te Tadviduhu Kritsnam, all Adhyatmam Karma Cha Akhilam. So they know everything about the Adhyatma Tattva and Karma Tattva. That is about the transcendental activities. They know everything. As we learnt in 4th chapter, verse number 6, Ajopi sanya vyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritimad prakritam swamadhisthaya sambhavamyatma mayaya. And Janma Karma 4.9 Janma Karma cha me divyam evam yovetti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti Arjuna. So, who knows about the transcendental activities of the Lord? They become liberated. So that is the reason Bhagavan said in the beginning of this chapter, that is Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mam vetti tatvatah. So rarest of the rare are the souls who can actually know the Lord tatvatah, because there are very few people among thousands, millions of people who actually endeavor to know the Lord. And among them, a very few are siddhas. They get success. And among those siddhas, there are very few who can actually rise to the highest platform, where they can know the Lord tatvatah completely. So, this is 7.3, it is mentioned. And then also Bhagavan says, Bahunang janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabhaha. So, we can understand how rare such people are in this world who can actually know. That is why Bhagavan in the beginning of this section, he says that no one knows me. No one knows me because of the dualities of delusion. And I also don't reveal myself, yogamaya samavritam. But the people who are pious, who are free from all sins, freed from dualities of delusion, who are completely engaged in my service with strong determination, who take shelter of mine, mam ashrayaha, mam ashrityaha. I just, this here it is mentioned. Mam ashritya. In this verse it is mentioned, then rest 2 points. So as we were discussing, who can be elevated to the transcendental platform? 3 points we discussed, and the next 2 points here it is mentioned in this verse. Mam ashritya, that is, who take shelter of mine. And yatanti, who is seriously endeavoring. So all these qualities are needed to know the Lord tatvatah. So who know the Lord tatvatah, they become mukta jiva, brahma bhuta. And okay, 1 minute. Yes. साधिभूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः. So sadhibhuta adhidaivam mam sadhiyajnam cha ye viduhu prayanakale cha api cha mam te vidur yukta chetasaha. Sa adhibhuta, and the governing principle of the material manifestation. Adhidaivam, governing all the demigods. Mam, me. Sa adhiyajnam, the governing all sacrifices. Cha, also. Ye, those who, viduhu, know, prayana, of death, kale, at the time, api, even, cha, and, mam, me, te, they, viduhu, know, yukta chetasaha, their minds engaged in me. Translation. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Even at the time of death. So here, Yukta Chetasaha, this particular word is here in the end of this verse. Viduhu Yukta Chetasaha. Yukta Chetasaha means, as I just said, whose mind is engaged in me, that is fully Krishna conscious, whose mind is always engaged in Krishna. He knows the Lord as the governing principle of the material manifestation, the governing principle of the devas, all the devas, governing principle of all the sacrifices, and prayana kale, at the time of death. This particular phrase is the link of the next chapter, that is chapter 8, which will tell about this topic in detail. So we see, as Bhagavan says in the beginning of this section in 26, why I am repeating this again and again, because this is very important point to understand. That is why I am giving much emphasis on this, because as Bhagavan says, see Arjuna, I am the omniscient. I know everything, but nobody can know me. Why? Why they can't know me? Because dualities of delusion. This is the thing which prevents the jivas to know me. And who can be then elevated to the transcendental platform? That is, who is eligible to know me? The pious people who are free from all sins. Number 2, who are freed from dualities of delusion. Number 3, who engage themselves in my service with strong determination. Bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Number 4, who take shelter of mine, that is mam ashritya. Number 5, who is seriously endeavoring, that is yatanti. And what happens to them? They become Brahma Bhuta, Mukta Jiva, that is liberated. Why? Because they know everything about transcendental activities. They know everything about the Adhyatma Tattva and Karma Tattva. Sorry. So, what is the conclusion then? Whose knowledge is complete? Who is Yukta Chetasaha, whose mind is always engaged in me. That is, who is fully Krishna conscious. He knows the Lord as the governing principle of the material manifestation. Number 2, the governing principle of the devas. And number 3, the governing principle of all the sacrifices. And Bhagavan says that at the time of death, why this particular word is mentioned, that will be revealed in the next chapter. Prayana kale, at the time of death, even then they will know me. So here we see Sridhara Swami gives a very beautiful note to this chapter. He says, Krishna bhaktir ayatnena brahmajnanam avapyate iti vijnana yogakhe saptame samprakashitaha. So the bhaktas, Krishna bhaktaihi ayatnena, they don't need to endeavor also much for the knowledge of Brahman. They automatically get the knowledge of Brahman. Ayatnena Brahma Jnanam Avapyate. So which the Jnana is endeavor for Brahma Jnana. The bhaktas automatically get the Brahma Jnanam without endeavoring for this, because they endeavor for higher thing. Yatante mam dridhavrataha. Bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So they worship me with strong determination. And they are yukta chetasaha. Their mind is always engaged in me. They have taken shelter of mine, mam ashritya. And they are very serious in their endeavoring of devotional service. That is why they are absolutely eligible to receive Brahma Jnanam. Ayatnena. Iti Vijnana Yogakhe. So that is the take home from this chapter, Vijnana Yoga, Saptame Samprakashitaha. This Saptama Adhyaya, which is known as Vijnana Yoga, here it is revealed. It is completely expressed. This point here Sridhara Swami mentions. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions that this chapter explains how one can become a perfect Krishna conscious person. So we see how the thought that occupies the mind of a person becomes the determining principle, or we can say the governing force of the actions which he performs. So we see that whose mind is always fixed in Krishna, his actions will surely be designed accordingly. So that is the reason Sridhara Swami says, Krishna Bhakti Rayatnena Brahma Jnanam Avapyate iti Vijnana Yoga Khe Saptame Samprakashitaha. So this is a very, very, very important chapter, and it is as this is the Guhyatara Jnanam. That is, as we see in 4th chapter, we learned Guhya Jnanam, that is the confidential knowledge. And here in this chapter, that is Vijnana Yoga, 7th chapter, we learned the Guhyattara Jnanam, that is the more confidential knowledge. And then we will also continue. As we will continue, we just received the link with chapter 8, and then in chapter 9 we will see Bhagavan will explain the most confidential knowledge. He will reveal, that is the Guhyattamam Jnanam. So from chapter 7 we see all the principles beautifully, very beautifully. So we must try to understand this. We must try to study this very seriously. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.